Congress shall now vote for approval of H.R. 8791, the Homeland Terrorism Preparedness Bill. Said bill requests emergency response funding up to and including, this section is classified, dollars to prepare for a national level terrorist attack and or attack from classified. Funding for first responder personnel and vehicles would be doubled if said attack leads to more than 80% of national population being affected by classified. This funding shall commence in conjunction with the first attack on classified or the first large-scale outbreak of classified, dependent upon which comes first. Civilian and military units shall be trained in containment and combat of classified, including irradiated classified, with possibility of classified airborne, classified flesh-eating, classified, and or all of the above in such event as classified spewing, classified escape are released or otherwise become uncontrollable. Air Force units may also be directed to combat said classified due to their enormous size and otherworldly strength. Should event occur in urban areas, that's classified, far surpassing our darkest nightmares. Should casualties exceed, classified body disposal actions shall be halted and associated resources shall be reallocated to classified underground, classified protected birthing centers. A new Bill of Rights shall be drafted and approved by classified. Having now reviewed the bill, I ask you to please cast your votes.
I think many of us were horrified by some of the images that came out of Ferguson. We were horrified by seeing an unarmed man with his hands over his head being confronted by an armored personnel carrier. We're horrified by seeing an unarmed man with his hands over his head being confronted by a man with a drawn assault weapon. We're horrified by images of tear gas being shot into the yards of people's personal homes who were protesting. One of the fundamental things about America is dissent and the ability to have dissent. And it needs to be peaceful. There needs to be repercussions for people who do not act in a peaceful way. But confronting protesters with armored personnel carriers is thoroughly un-American. And for 150 years, we've had rules separating the military, keeping the military out of policing affairs. But you sort of obscure that separation if you allow the police to become the military. In FEMA's authorized equipment list, there's actually written descriptions for how the equipment should be used, and it says it's specifically not supposed to be used for riot suppression. Mr. Comoy, is that true, that it's not supposed to be used for riot suppression? And how do you plan on policing that, since the images show us clearly large pieces of equipment that were bought with your grants being used in that riot suppression?
Senator Paul, that is
protest suppression, rather.
That is accurate. The categories of personal protective equipment that include helmets, ear and eye protection, ballistics, personal protective equipment, is a prohibition in the authorized equipment list that is not to be used for riot suppression.
And what will you do about it? But it gets back to the whole question. If you're a police force anywhere in the country instructed that it's not for that, and we've talked about, we've had maybe 2 instances of terrorism. We spent billions and billions of dollars and maybe 2 instances of terrorism. The 1033 program, they list that 12,000 bayonets have been given out. What purpose are bayonets being given out for?
Senator, bayonets are available under the program. I can't answer what a local police force would need a bayonet
I can
for.
give you an answer, none.
Okay.
Position on handing out bayonets to the police force. It's on your list. You guys create the list. You're going to take it off the list. We're going to keep doing it.
We are going to look at what we are providing under the administration's review.
I would think you can make that decision last week. My question is, what is the administration's opinion on giving out mine-resistant ambush protection 20-ton vehicles to towns across America? Are you for it or against it?
Obviously.
Maybe fix them, although I have my doubts because I've seen rarely anything ever fixed in government. But, I find these decisions to be very easy to make. You just shouldn't be giving out mine-resistant vehicles. Bayonets, there's no excuse. I don't understand why we have to get together and have a study for months to decide bayonets are inappropriate to be giving out. I can't imagine any use for a bayonet in an urban setting. So really, it's gotten out of control. And we've allowed it to descend along with not a great protection of our civil liberties as well, and with the breakdown of the whole idea of due process, of no-knock raids and not having judges issue warrants anymore. You can see how this gets out of control, and people are very, very concerned with what is going on here.
你们这就随身就拿着了吗？
哎，你跟我解释一下，你那名字中间怎么念啊？
赢。
今天上电梯上的不顺利。
哎呀，我里面都这个是我们无头的小朋友，最小的那一个。
几岁呀？
他前2天刚过了5岁生日。
是吗？
你家想干啥？
想我了没？
小朋友一般喜欢管你叫什么呀？
平常就喊我护士哥哥。还没吃完是不是？
还有鸡翅。
还有鸡翅啊，留着晚上吃好不好？
这是他画他的妈妈，长头发。那个小包包也是他画的，那个看他长头发。
这个长头发就是他妈妈是吧？
对。
Effie turned out to have a protective suit on him and almost forget we are now at war with COVID-19. In contrast with the tension in ICU, war in the children's hospital seems to be a maritime. Making them feel at home definitely helps these little ones to heal. Behind all these comforting acts is the effort that pediatric nurses, like him, have been making to take the role of a sibling and go into the kids' world.
你自己就是个90后，自己还是个大男孩，现在就要开始照顾别人了。
是啊。总共要是当爸爸了。
你喜欢刚才那位护士哥哥吗？
不喜欢。
为什么呀？
他这胸前写个帅哥温不不，我看他一点都不帅。他这胸前写个帅哥温不不，我看他一点都不帅。
They say that the post-90s generation has grown up. Willingly taking the responsibility for these kids is a mark of their maturity.
咱小朋友最小的那一个。
几岁呀？
他前2天刚过了5岁生日。
是吗？
你家想干啥？
想我了没？
小朋友一般喜欢管你叫什么呀？
还没吃完是不是？
还有鸡翅。
还有鸡翅啊，留着晚上吃好不好？
这是他画他的妈妈，长头发。那个小包包也是他画的，那个看他长头发。
这个长头发就是他妈妈是吧？
对。
Effie turned out to have a protective suit on him and almost forget we are now at war with COVID-19.